It's time for the obligatory pregame show.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Not bad.
I need a beer.
Yeah, me too.
We're the obligatory PSU pregame show. Thanks for joining us. And you'll probably turn it off pretty quick now.
Thunderstorms. Big ones.
Yeah, that happened. Like everything else in 2020, it got up.
It did.
How many is this?
This is number 6, technically, actually.
Season 7. Can you believe it? Hit it. Welcome back, everybody, to unbelievably the 7th season of the obligatory PSU pregame show. We are back home, I think, guys.
Yeah.
Here at Champs downtown on Allen Street in Happy Valley, as we will be all season. We are enjoying our new trail beers, other than Kevin Horn, the pride of Williamsport.
Thank you.
And we are getting ready for the 2022 Penn State football season. I am your fake host, as always, Chris Bucanani. I am joined by my usual running mates, campus legend Mike the Mailman.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. I do trends in treasure.
Yes.
I would have bet against this going 7th season. Jesus. That would be a trend.
Destroyed the over-under. Did we not?
Yes.
Former Penn State defensive tackle and team captain Brendan.
Yeah, thank you very much. I like how he's gone from icon to legend now. I feel like...
I want to keep pumping him up.
I like it.
I want to keep pumping him up.
Appreciate it.
And Kevin.
Former ArmoryState.com managing editor, newly married
Kevin Horn.
Married. Although we're filming this before I get married, so I'm not wearing the ring, so that makes it awkward.
It's a secret.
Well, if you didn't take a 2-week honeymoon to Europe, maybe that would have been a problem. Well, what do you got?
I don't know. Penn State starting.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
It's kind of awesome. I'm not, no surprise, I'm pessimistic.
Who cares? Who cares if you're back? The start of the season is the time, even when you are pessimistic, and we're going to get to our season record predictions later in the show, so stay tuned. It doesn't matter. It's Happy Valley.
It's exciting.
It's Penn State football.
Yeah.
It's great. So we are talking about the team, the program, the state of both heading into what feels like a very important stretch for Penn State football, because college football is changing all around us. We're going to have 2 new teams join the Big Ten within 2 years. NIL is totally transforming the landscape of college football. We'll talk about that in the next segment. We've got a head coach who has got pretty much the most secure job status of any of his peers in the country.
Yeah.
You're right.
And nevertheless, I have spent the whole offseason right here in State College having just about anybody I run into come up to me and give me their opinion of him, which is, spoiler alert, not always super positive.
No.
So I just want to get a heat check from you boys, and I'm doing you last because I know what you're going to say, about how we feel about Penn State football heading into the season. Kevin Horn, go.
Yeah, this has been a while since I've been as pessimistic going into the year. But that's also set expectations.
Which is saying something.
That's saying something.
Set expectations. You got to set expectations, and then if you meet them, it's fine. I'm not worried. This year's been circled for, I think, a couple of years as sort of the gap between the old and the new, right?
Yeah, right.
You got some guys on campus this year, Singleton, Aller, et cetera, and they're really going to hopefully next year is going to be the year for those guys. This year we're kind of phasing out of Sean Clifford, thank God, and we lost some pieces. So and the schedule's not so good. You open up the road on Purdue. So look, I'm like you. I don't really care if they're bad this year. I don't expect them to be good. It's different if you expect them to be great and they stink, right? I expect them to stink, and then I suspect that they will. But it's going to be fun, so that's fine. I'm ready for next season, but I'm also ready for this season.
Okay, so Nobes, Horn talked about this as a transitional season, which is the way I think a lot of fans are looking at it, because they look at it and say, like, okay, we had 16, 17, 18, 19. Things went pretty well.
Yep.
But then, maybe you had some recruiting misses. Maybe some guys you brought in didn't pan out the way you expected. You had the pandemic come in. So it's a speed bump. But once again, Penn State consistently showing up among the best recruiting classes in the country but you maybe don't expect that talent to show for another year or two. So I guess one of my questions is, if we are going to concede 2022 as a transitional year, by Penn State standards, how does that look?
Well, I mean, look, I'm not there. Like, I don't think that's what it is. Like, that's not how this works.
I know.
Like,
I set you up that way to piss you off.
So this is about winning football games. I mean, that's at the bottom. The head coach got a huge contract, right? He's getting everything he wants as far as, you know, rebuilding the facilities and doing all those things, and, you know, they're begging for NIL money. All these things, like, you've got to win football games at the end of the day. This program was on the cusp.
By the way, if I can just interrupt you for a second, if you are a wealthy alum out there, come on. Get off the sidelines.
Please,
pony up.
please.
Right. Yeah,
Give
go
gives
ahead.
money to academics.
Yeah,
Why would you
but-
give it to an 18-year-old? Anyway.
But
Don't listen to him. Give it to the 18-year-old.
I feel like, though, like this is a point where we were very much on the cusp a couple years ago, and then we fell off, man. Everybody played football during the pandemic, right? Everybody played football last year. We were not a good football team for the last 2 years. Like, I don't see. I'm with Kevin to an extent. Like, I am pessimistic going into this year as far as the record, right? As far as the record, I do think as long as they show progress, I'll be okay with it. And I am excited about the season. Don't get me wrong; it's football season. Driving into town today, I was super pumped. It's the first time I've been up here in a while, and it was empty because the students aren't back yet. We're doing this in kind of mid-August and early August. There's no one here, right, because of Kevin's honeymoon. So I didn't go on a honeymoon. I got married during the football season, so it didn't happen. But
Didn't you go on a honeymoon?
No honeymoon. I had
that's
3 kids
sad.
instead, Mike. But you know, it just, we've got to be good this year. You've got to be good. We put a great class together. We're very, very good at that. We're not very, very good at kind of taking that class and doing what they're supposed to do, which is win a ton of football games and hopefully, as the program has said, become elite, right? Get into the playoffs. That's what it's about.
Open kimono, production-wise here. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, I would love to be able to give everybody some more positive vibes starting the season out. And I am hoping, as the season goes on, this side of the table can eat crow.
Oh, me too.
We're all
Same.
rooting for that.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So, to counterbalance,
Go over there.
75% of the cast, hit me up, Mailman. Go.
How come you guys think it's going to be a terrible season? I mean, these guys, we have so much talent on this team. We have so much talent, and these guys have been playing football since high school, and they know what it's about. I think they're going to be.
I played football in high school, Mike.
Oh, you did? Oh, well, sorry. but I think
It's just a lie.
I think
Only
having a couple new coaches, one coach or two.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think
Some new coaches.
Yeah, I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. this year.
I'm excited about the defense. I'm really looking forward to watching Manny Diaz and what he does to this group. It's a little bit big. I love Brent Pry. Like, I think he was great for the program, but I do think that the way that Manny Diaz coaches football is a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more kind of in your face, that Miami kind of swagger.
It's philosophically different.
100%.
And you know the defense wins the game, so I think that's a positive there.
It is. Unfortunately, there's that just giant mess of an offensive line that you know at some point I'm going to start complaining about.
Yeah.
And that's my concern at the end of the day. That and the fact that we just haven't been good for 2 years.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I am going to give Mike some credit. I'm going to concede a point to Mike. James has talked about in the spring and again here in summer camp, and I think he's right, about the level of depth they have on the team this year, which I think is different from what we've seen in previous seasons. And that, potentially in 1 or 2 close contests, like we had last year, could be a difference maker. We will talk about it in the second half of this show. We got some good stuff coming up for you, so stick with us here on the Obligatory PSU pregame show from Champs Downtown. New Trail cheers, guys.
Delicious.
delicious. It is delicious.
Taking a shot up at the tailgate lot with a stadium view. What a great spot. Damn it, I've been waiting all week. Counting down the days till I'm back in my seat.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Obligatory PSU pregame show from Champs Downtown. And in this segment of our show for the rest of the season upcoming, we're going to be doing something really cool.
Yep.
Because of all the changes in NIL, we've got an opportunity to actually bring the players from the current team and make them part of our coverage of the 2022 football season. So on Monday nights, all season long, 6 p.m. live on the social feeds of Onward State and statecollege.com. You all can and should tune in to the Blue and White Players Show, where we're going to be here with current members of the Nittany Lions football team, talking about the season as it unfolds. I am going to be joined every week by the two gentlemen to my left and right. Keith, Goon, Conlin. How are you, Goon?
What up, Booch? How are you, Bob? Congratulations.
Aeneas Hawkins. And occasionally,
Sometimes,
this guy.
maybe.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, they'll let
I
me
don't know.
back in. I don't know.
You
I don't
know who he is.
Yeah, exactly.
He's aloof.
Aloof.
But since there's no pre-Purdue game players show, we thought it'd be a cool opportunity to bring you guys on set and just let the audience get to know you a little bit. So Aeneas, I am gonna kick it over to you. If you can just introduce yourself to the vast obligatory PSU pregame show audience. Tell us a little bit about your story as a Nittany Lion.
Yeah, Aeneas Hawkins. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Went to the esteemed Archbishop Moeller High School, home of Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Larkin, and other athletes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, other athletes who were way better than me. I have no shot at the Hall of Fame. No shot at all. From Cincinnati, played 4 years here at Penn State. Just got my Letterman jacket, which was exciting stuff. Didn't do a whole lot of playing. Per se, but was definitely there with the guys going through that experience, so very happy with that. Now that I'm done, I got a call from these guys about hopping on the show, so very exciting stuff, and this is what we're doing now.
Question. The Letterman's jacket is a true Letterman's jacket, or is that piece of crap that, like the suit jacket that we got back
No. I got the
80s and the 90s?
we got the true one. We've advanced a little bit.
It was like paper thin.
With
it was
the
like
little patch on it.
with a little Nittany Lion patch on it.
The chipmunk on there,
It was
right?
unbelievable. It was like, really, if I move like too far to like too quick, it's gonna shred right
gonna
down the
go
middle. Well, that was our first year Letterman got that jacket, so that was a thing. I remember being a freshman and going downtown and getting fitted for it. The guy's like, yeah, you'll fit into it. I put it on, it was like a trash bag. And I was like, jeez, this guy really thought I was gonna grow up a little bit more, huh? No,
So-
but I got a great story about the Letterman jackets, and Noble can attest to it. I wanted one of those coats for years. Years.
Yeah.
5 years I played here, and then the year we leave, they get them their senior year, and I'm like, this is total horse.
That's frustrating. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll wear mine in honor of you. I'll wear it thinking of you.
Well, I actually got one.
Just
when
don't let
I
Goon.
there you go.
I was gonna say, don't let Goon put yours on. That won't end well. But it's funny. My wife actually the other day, going through the closet, right, spring cleaning, and she looked at it and she was like,
Why do we have this?
yes, that's exactly right. And I was like, I can't. I'm not quite yet. I'm not ready to let it go. I've never put it on.
Now wait one damn minute. I know this is about them.
Oh, here comes the secondhand
you
store
have
guy.
you have a Letterman's jacket in your closet. You haven't worn it on the air yet.
Yeah, you know how hot it is in here? Yeah, sweat. Look at me.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well,
All right,
October.
I'll wear it. Absolutely.
It's on the docket.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, so
Don't you keep on hanging around this. You'll be fitting in another 6 or 7 months.
Won't be
maybe.
long.
We'll see. Well, I told you I was an IM offensive lineman,
That's
so
true.
I'm with you in spirit.
Off
Okay,
air,
so
it was
introduce
actually
yourself
pretty
to the
funny.
audience.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Keith Conlin. They call me the Goon. How are you? Originally from outside of Philadelphia, Glenside, Pennsylvania. Went to LaSalle High School. I don't know who.
Kind of
I don't know if I-
the Goon is like the key cog in the
I'm the
Letterman
keystone. I'm
in
the
the
keystone.
Letterman wheel,
keystone.
right? Like Goon is literally the guy that connects
Yes.
everybody from every decade that has ever played here, and it's because his family. I mean, he had an older brother that played here, a younger brother that played here. So Goon and he's been here. When did you move back up here?
I coached here 5,
Coached
6, and
here,
7.
right? Yeah.
So I know the mid 2000s guys. I know the 80s guys because I was like their little team mascot.
Yes.
Like 6'4",
Little,
182 and like
team,
11
keyword.
years old.
Right.
They used to just.
We'll save that for a podcast.
Yeah, that's a side note what they used to do to me back in the day.
Exactly.
I don't know why my parents would let a 12-year-old kid stay with college guys.
I don't either.
Like, what do you think's going to happen? Like, what do you think is going to happen, Mr. or Mrs. Conlin? I mean,
That's good for you.
yeah, but that's my thing. And Brandon's right. I mean, the 80s guys, the 90s guys I played with, the 2000 guys I coached with, and I've been here since 05. So it's great to get to know Aeneas over here, and really looking forward to doing this show. I mean, like, really looking forward to it. Like, do you want to drop the slogan there, Booch? I'll let you do it, man.
Although I got to give you credit.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
A little vino.
Yeah.
A lot of vino one night, and I had it come into my head.
Old school, new school,
Yep.
same school, which
There
we
it is.
love.
I like it.
And that's the
it is.
idea,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's every week we're going to be able to talk to different guys on the team, and we're going to hear the grumpy old man perspective.
But I'm not a grumpy old man. I'm a grumpy young man. Dude, this looks very old.
Middle-aged man.
I'll
Dude,
settle
that's
for
what we
middle-aged.
I thought you were gonna complain about grumpy, but it was
That's my persona. I got to be the grumpy guy. I mean, I've always said, like I've told you a million times. I mean, I understand, and I'm so happy these guys are getting paid in the NIL money. That's a huge thing. It's amazing to me, but I just wish it was monitored better. Than me and Aeneas will go through this a lot during the season, and because honest to God, I mean, there's got to be. We're going to talk about recruiting stories, obviously, and some of them are just off the charts. But I can't wait to hear some of these NIL stories. Like,
Oh, man,
I can't imagine some of the stuff that's being offered out there.
It's like the Wild Wild West.
It is.
Year one was like the Wild Wild West. And
you're in that world.
And I was in that world. I played through the first year of NIL, and now I'm working through NIL officially in business. And it's definitely, there have already been significant changes since it started, but there are more significant changes coming.
In good ways, bad ways.
Well, I think, like you said, we got to have some more regulations. And rules
it needs to be monitored
because
it's not sustainable, in my opinion, the way it's going right now.
It's not, and realistically, it's not good for the student athletes either to have no regulations and just to have it be the Wild West. And it's going to affect, we talk about recruiting stories. It's going to affect recruiting countrywide, whether that's positively or negatively.
And so I think it's going to be good, too, to be able to bring your perspective to it as somebody who's been in the locker room, has seen this, like you said, from the inside as a player, and now professionally, that's the world you're working in.
Yep.
And at the same time, it's going to give both of you guys a chance to let players introduce themselves to the fans and the alumni and talk about what's going on in the season in a way that's really never been done before here at Penn State or anywhere.
Absolutely. I think it's a very unique opportunity. Just talking to guys on the team right now about their experiences, it's crazy for them too. Even the young guys are like, wow, this is happening really fast. Yeah. And it's a big, scary world out there once you really dive into it.
I got one quick question. Are there guys out there who are actually saying, I should go do that? I mean, how do they, I would love to know, we'll talk about it during the year, of how do you go ask a company, hey, sponsor me?
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
You're selling yourself, and that's what it is, but
it's ridiculous. It's a whole new world. Got to see yourself as a business.
Yeah.
But also, it's like it feels uncomfortable going and doing that, and really going to advocate for yourself to these big brands.
You got to bounce. You can go to Limitless NIL for that. 6 p.m. every Monday. Onward State, statecollege.com. Blue White Players Show. We'll be right back.
Jordan Hill. Played 2009 to 2012. Played defensive tackle. I'm from Stilton, Pennsylvania. So nowadays I'm in Trinity High School. I'm working there full time. I'm the head football coach and director of advancement for the school. It's a place that is, right now we are in the growth mindset, and I'm all for it. It was just one of those situations where it was full circle. I started to flirt with the idea of decommitting from Rutgers and going to Pitt. And then one of our principals found out, reached out to Larry Johnson, gave him the heads up, kind of gave our principal the heads up that Scrap Tom Bradley was going to be at one of our games in the state playoffs. And I decommitted the day of our semifinal game, the game before our state championship my senior year. Called him in homeroom, called Coach Iano, and he was upset with me. He flew in that same day. Obviously, the Orange Bowl year, 2005, 2006, with Tamba, Puz, and all those guys, AZ. I started playing with those guys on NCAA football. And then I knew all of their names. Playing the game, they're successful. They've, that's when Michael Robinson really had that breakout year. And then going to camp up there as a fan, and for me, just going against kids, me being literally not the football player, but I just wanted to go up there and have an experience, turned into me getting recruited. And realistically, if I knew I ever got an offer from Penn State, that was where I was going. There's two. And it was both my freshman season, Navarro Bowman and Sean Lee, hands down. Sean Lee goes down as one of the best. Navarro too, but Navarro doesn't get talked about enough. One-on-one matchup, it would be Taylor Lewan from Michigan. Just one of those guys that were athletically gifted as, and I like to say, as defensive linemen, because defensive linemen usually are a little more athletic. Everybody talks about the first year of the sanctions, when they were dropped, what we had to go through, all the players and friends, and like I consider those guys brothers. Two of my roommates were Silas Red and Justin Brown. Probably two of the three highlighted guys that left. I look back on that year, that was the most fun I ever had at Penn State, was 2012. Backs were against the wall. You were literally in fight mode, not flight at all. You were in fight mode the whole time. So I was comfortable in that position, especially where I'm from. It's a small steel town. Most of the people that are born there stay there. And I've been in fight mode my whole life. So it was like a place where I was comfortable and I could flourish a little bit more. Had fun. Obviously, we proved everybody wrong. Even our own people, we proved them wrong, right? And you did it. And that creates, when you go through adversity, it creates a bond with people. And those are the guys I still talk to.
Solo cup in my right hand, pigskin in my left, and it just feels so right, man. College football's back. Yeah, we waking up.
People always ask me what Chance is like during the day because we do get crazy at night, but we're just a normal workplace.
What's good, bro?
What's good, bro? How your weekend going?
It's alright, bro. How's yours?
Man, just chilling. You catch the game the other day?
Nah, I didn't.
That boy Steph Curry, he's something serious. Yeah.
Right now, I need you to high five your best friend. High five your best friend right now. Yes. Welcome back from vacation.
Hi everybody, Mike the Mailman here at Beaver Stadium with the 2022 Penn State Football Media Day. In just a couple of minutes, the Penn State football players will be lining the field, and I am going to ask them so many questions, and none of them will be football related. I know you guys probably don't eat a lot of cookies, but what would be your favorite cookie?
Oreo.
Oreo. I like Oreo. That's
Oreo, the best cookie.
Like a white chocolate snickerdoodle.
Oh, very good choices. Very good.
Favorite cookie? Sugar cookie.
Sugar cookie.
Yeah, you make a good one?
No.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
I don't make cookies. People give me cookies.
Oh, okay.
Just a big old chocolate chip would be great.
That's
yeah. Not the thin ones either. Like I like the chunky ones.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Snickerdoodle.
Snickerdoodle. Wow.
That's a good one.
That is a good. And if we could talk to Sean, I want to bring up the fact that his mom last year didn't send him any cookies. So has that turned around at all?
No. My mom doesn't send me cookies because I don't need cookies.
Well,
I definitely do not need any cookies. I'm trying to wash my figure.
Well, you know,
if I needed some cookies, my mom is very loving and supportive, and she would definitely send me some cookies.
I like the ones with the Reese's in the middle.
Oh, so my daughters like those too.
Yes, those are good. I don't know.
Yeah, like when you pull it apart, like the crumbs fall off, and like you can see like the bread fall.
So you really analyze it.
I like food. Yeah.
So if the Olympics were being held tomorrow, and you had a chance to participate in summer or winter, what would you want to do?
I think I want to throw. Whatever it's throwing, I want to try something.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What's that one where you push the big block on the ice?
Curling. He just told me that if you guys could do an event in the Olympics, it would be synchronized swimming.
I'm gonna be honest. You might have chose the wrong guy because I can't swim.
Well, I don't think they have this sport, but I would appreciate if they would incorporate this into the Olympics, is cornhole.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Bryce, when you're having a bad day, what do you do to turn that around?
Listen to some of my favorite music, cook a meal.
Oh yeah?
Go for a drive.
What do you cook?
I like to grill.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll throw some kebabs on there, some steaks.
You never invite me over? You can invite me over sometime.
I don't know you.
Oh, okay. My next question. Who is the best video game player on the team?
Me. No, he's not. It's me.
Wait a minute.
No, it's me.
This is, we don't know, right? Okay.
No, it's me.
It's a good question, but it's definitely me.
Me.
I'm gonna have to say myself.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Video games?
Yes.
Oh, me, right here.
It depends what game you're talking about, but
I'm an any sports game.
If it's 2K or Madden, I'm putting my money up with him actually, if we could say like we bet against each other, he lost some money to him already. I think he still got to pay up.
Everyone I interview says it's them, but
yeah, it's not me because I don't play video games
Oh, you don't?
that often. No,
You study
so,
more probably.
Yeah, I watch film. I don't play video.
Everyone I've asked, they say it's them.
Of course they are.
That's
No, I am.
Okay.
How about that? I'll match it.
It might be Parker. Really,
It's me.
number 3.
Well, Parker Washington will forever say that he is.
Yes, everyone.
But he's lying.
I said, who's the best video game player on the team? He said that you were going to say you were, but he said you really aren't. How can he say that?
I mean, Sean's really not that good at the video game.
I beat Parker. It's
He
me.
did beat
Oh, yeah,
Parker.
it might be- it
and I
was-
had a side bet on that too. Parker didn't pay me also.
Sean Clipper recognized the Mailman.
Well, who doesn't?
Because he's been here almost as long as I've been here. So,
Good stuff.
okay.
So long, everybody. We'll be right back.
See you, Johnny. Or, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the time in the first show, as we do every season, where we make our season record prediction.
This is a good time. Good time.
So easy for Mike.
So easy.
I'm going to save you for last again,
Yeah.
buddy.
Thank you.
I'm going to give my prediction. I'm going to let you guys react. I would love to feel more optimistic about Penn State football heading into the season, but I look at last year, and I've heard a lot of people tell me over the last offseason that they feel like the team quit, and I don't feel like that at all. There have been years where I do feel like that. I think last season's team tried. I just don't think they were very good. And yes, we may run the ball better. It would be difficult not to. But when I look at the track record over the last 8 years since James has been here, I look at the talent on the roster and where I think it's going to be. I'm not going higher than 7-5. That's where I'm at. In the first 4 games, I have Penn State at a 3-1 record. I think we do beat Purdue, spoiling the next segment. And I think we beat the 2 MAC schools at home. But when I look at Auburn, I feel like it's a toss-up. 2 proud programs. They faltered on the road last year. Penn State falters on the road in the SEC environment. The next 4 games, make or break for the 2022 season, in my opinion. 2 home, 2 away. You have Northwestern coming to Happy Valley. They've given us a tough time, but I give State the win there.
Should be a win, yeah. Should be.
They travel to Ann Arbor.
No.
Yeah, that's an L for me. That's a good team. It's on the road. You got to show me more if you want me to pick you to win in that environment. Then coming out of the bye week, Penn State's record, not so great.
Nope.
Penn State's record against teams with inferior talent that are well coached, looking to upset us, not so great. Penn State's record in high pressure situations, not so great. That Minnesota game, sorry, I'm predicting the L. And then Ohio State, I don't care where it is, I don't care what time the kickoff is, automatic L. So to wrap up the season, we travel to Indiana. I think they win there. I do think they beat Maryland at home, although that is going to be a tough game. They beat Rutgers, and then they welcome Michigan State at home. Again, I just look at how does Penn State fare in these games where they have comparable talent, and I'm tipping it over into Sparty's column. And there's my 7-5. Horn.
Yeah, 7-5. I have 7-5 too, I guess. But I would be foolish to pick the games because I'm sure it'll happen in the dumbest, most James Franklin way possible, right? Like they'll beat Purdue and then stall out against Ohio or something stupid. So that I'm sure that'll be the case. I actually don't like Penn State at Purdue. I mean, Purdue, they were 9-4 last year, I think, and they were like 6-3 in conference. I mean, they put together a good team. They returned a lot of guys. They returned the quarterback, big tight end, Freiermuth type tight end.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, every game with this team is a challenge, I think, but they do have enough horses to at least win 7 games. I mean, you bring in Mitchell Tinsley. There's something to be said for a 6-year quarterback, even if he's not great. Nick Singleton is the story of camp. You know, his hype could not be higher based on the few practices that they've had by the time we film this. But the offensive line, who knows?
What an encouraging quote.
Yeah.
They do have the horses to at least win 7 games. Penn State football, everybody. Noble, what do you got?
I'm kind of right there. I mean,
Damn it.
I know. On the way
Come
up,
on.
I was trying to find another win, and you don't know. Like I honestly think that the first two actually scare me just as much as anything. As crazy as it sounds, like you don't play well against Purdue, whether you win or not. You come back, right? You got an Ohio team. That's one of those games where it's just going to be quiet up here. It's going to be lazy. There's not going to be a lot of atmosphere. I don't know. Look, I'm good with 7 wins this year, as long as they're tough, as long as they play hard, all those things. Like
Why are you watching this?
I don't know.
Look,
I don't know.
at least I can
I'm not
tell you.
watching.
Look,
I can promise you that.
Auburn, we can win that. Minnesota, Michigan State, we can win that. If I'm wrong on all of those, all of a sudden, boom, we're at 10 wins. Mike the Mailman, what do you got?
I don't understand.
I know what you got. Go ahead.
I don't
Go ahead.
understand. What's with attitude? I don't get that. What is attitude? What does that mean? I mean, I think the football players play every game like you did every day. Every game was a game. You went out there and said, "Hey."
Every game was a game. Thanks, Mike the Mailman. Folks.
Mike, you've got 5 seconds. Just say it.
1-0, 15-0, no problem.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Is a game.
Cheers.
Game is a game. Cheers.
Taking a shot up at the tailgate lot with a stadium view. What a great spot. Damn it, I've been waiting all week. Counting down the days till I'm back in my seat.
Tim and Steve here from the Let's Talk Penn State podcast, here to give you a couple fun facts about Purdue. Cue that fight song.
We're going to start with alumni of Purdue University: Orville Redenbacher, Sully Sullenberger, Jim Gaffigan, Herman Cain, Tim.
I like a guy that can tell a joke, but I'll go with the guy that can give me some popcorn. That sounds good. Fun fact about Purdue University, it's one of only 3 Big Ten schools that is not named after a state.
We can get that down to 2 if we just boot Rutger. How about our Citizens Bank game day buttons? So many good ones about Purdue over time. Roast Purdue, Purdue is chicken, Purdue out of steam.
Chicken jokes are good. I like the train one though. That's excellent. Hey, if you're going to West Lafayette this week for the game, make sure stop at Happy's Sweet Shop. They're famous for their milkshake of the month. Tell them Let's Talk Penn State sent you.
Never miss your chance for Pappy's. And finally, our review of the fight song. Tim, what'd you think?
I like it. It's a good Big Ten fight song, and I say, go State, beat Purdue.
Go State.
Welcome back, everybody, to the obligatory PSU pregame show. We, earlier in the program, told you about the Blue and White Players Show. I remind you every Monday night, live on the social feeds of onwardstate.com, nstatecollege.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, any way you like it. We're going to be talking to current Nittany Lions and letting them tell the story of their season in their own words. And this will be another segment where we talk to them specifically and exclusively for television about the upcoming opponent. No players show before the Purdue game. We thought Goon could hang around, and we will preview the upcoming game against the Boilermakers, a Thursday night game. Don't love it.
I didn't consider that I'd have to talk about how Penn State's going to lose this game with student athletes like off in the corner. This new segment. That's
I hope
they follow you home and beat the tar out of you.
Unintended consequences. NIL.
Kevin Horn found beaten behind his car after a radio television talk show.
It was Aeneas Hawkins.
Yeah. Jeez.
You will definitely be able to find at least one member of this cast who will come pick him up and take him to the hospital.
Sure.
Yeah.
I got a question.
It's Mike.
Is the Purdue game home or away? It's an opener, right?
Yeah.
The season opener for the Big Ten.
You know how that works.
So it's on the road,
away,
as
right?
always.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got you. I got you.
Okay, so Thursday night game, which is weird, bothers me, I guess, a little bit less because it's the first week of the season, no NFL, only as many nights as you can, whatever.
Only show in town, man.
The blackout, everybody trying to rip off Guido.
Right, well.
You know, often imitated, never duplicated.
Oh, we borrowed it too. Let's not kid ourselves.
From the Winnipeg Jets.
Exactly. Yeah. It is what it is.
All right, so Kev, I know you're going. Mailman's going too.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about the road trip to West Lafayette.
Honestly, I've only been there twice. It's one of the Big Ten towns we don't play in too often.
We don't go there very often.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's first time since, I think, 2015-ish. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
16.
16.
Yeah.
That's a nerd town. I don't know. It's a weird. It's smaller than most of the schools in the Big Ten, and they're more studious. Let's say so. There are fewer bars. I don't know. It's kind of West Lafayette's kind of whatever. But they've got some good bars. Mike and I are going to go out. We have it's called Breakfast Club. So they open the bars like 7 in the morning in West Lafayette. Everyone dresses up in stupid costumes, and then they get drunk until like noon, and then go to sleep and miss the game. So Mike may partake. I'm thinking about Tinkerbell for Mike over there. But we'll see.
I like it. I like it.
Harry's Chocolate Shop doesn't sound like a bar, but it is. It's their sort of Skeller. So
Dude, the mailman doesn't
we'll
wear
be
a postman costume. He's going to be
furious.
Like sexy postman costume, like
Something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a sleeveless cutoff, like mailman shirt.
You're in store for
Right?
a
70s
surprise.
coaching shorts. Oh, yeah, the bike coaching shorts. Get on the line. Get on the line.
Other than Northwestern, Ross 8 is probably as close to a high school stadium as you get in the Big Ten. So,
Oh, absolutely.
I
They have some added features.
The world's biggest drum.
The world's biggest drum.
The world's biggest. My favorite thing, they have this little train that goes
The
around
train,
outside the
yeah,
stadium,
yeah.
and they put the hats of the teams that they beat on the
Yep.
front of the
So
train,
no hats.
implying that they ran them over. So usually most years, well, not recently, they've been better than Penn State the last
Yes.
couple years. But back when I was going out
Yeah.
there,
Details.
they would have. I remember they put the Ohio State hat the one year
Yeah.
they beat Ohio
Yeah.
State in the front of the train. That was a big deal.
I just hope we don't turn into Ohio State because that's like their graveyard out there. Playing out there at Purdue at night is one of that's
Yeah.
like Ohio State's bugaboo. It
Yep.
really is. Like Illinois in the 90s and 2000s was like the Achilles heel of Ohio State. It's turning into Purdue at Purdue.
So they've been on this like slow, staggered upward trend since Jeff Brom got there.
Yeah.
Last year they had, some pretty big wins against number 2 Iowa.
Competitive.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
They beat Michigan State when Michigan State was riding high. They were number 5 in the country. Couldn't knock off Ohio State last season, but yeah, the Buckeyes have had some trouble there. So we're going to get to do our score predictions in the next segment. Goon, how are you feeling about this game?
I'm okay. I mean, I think that James does a very good job getting the teams ready. I just look at the Wisconsin game last year because that game scared the living tar out of me. I was like, we're on the road at Wisconsin, a tough place to play. Wisconsin's not like they were a real tough team, but I thought James did a hell of a job getting those guys ready to play that Wisconsin game last year. They played very well. So I foresee that happening again this year. You know, I mean, people can complain about James's game day coaching and stuff like that, yada yada yada, but I think that the opening game of the season, he's actually been very, very well.
That helped. A lot of the roster has experience coming back, opening conference play on the road to start a season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you did it last year, right? You know, you're going out. It's a Thursday night, but at the end of camp, it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
It could be Saturday, it could be Tuesday, it could be Wednesday. You don't even know what day it
They
is.
have no
at that
idea
point.
what day it is. You're
So
exactly right.
you know, so it's like I'm going to play football today. That's all that matters against somebody else. It is a tough place to play. If I recall correctly, Goon, you know, and again, this was a long time ago. Mike Allstott was playing football there. Really thick grass. Hopefully, they've put some sort of turf out.
Remember
but
that?
it's very, very quiet. Again, it's going to be a blackout, whatever that means. But I do think we're going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be easy, but we should beat them. We should be just better than them.
We both have Van Wilder at quarterback, right? Like Payne Durham, or I'm sorry, that's their tight end. But O'Connell and Clifford have like a combined 20 years experience. So we'll see. Although I'll take theirs over ours after the way you ran the offense last year. So we'll see.
Okay, so you and Mike are going to do Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
You guys are feeling good. We got Mike's trends and our score predictions coming up next. Stay with us.
Solo cup in my right hand, pigskin in my left, and it just feels so right.
Hi, I'm Mike the Mailman. If you or your loved one or a friend has a gambling problem, don't hesitate to call the number below on the screen. They're there to help. Hi everybody, Mike the Mailman back again for the 2022 football season. And if I'm back, you know what that means. Another edition of Trends to Treasure. Before I jump into how all this works, I want to share with you, we started this segment on a whim 4 years ago, but we never expected it to be as popular as it is. So here I am 4 years later, and I'm going to explain to you how my Trends to Treasure works. Over the last 10 to 12 years, I've paid a lot of attention to all the trends that's happening in college and professional football. So if you're into sports betting, these are all the trends that I've noticed against the spread that could bring you some treasure. Thus the segment name, Trends to Treasure. Without further ado, these are the first trends for the 2022 football season. This will be for the week starting Sunday, September 11th. A lot of times these college teams are playing one another for the first time or out of division, so we're going to stay with the NFL the first couple of weeks. For the first week, we have the Atlanta Falcons hosting the New Orleans Saints. Falcons are 0-4 hosting the Saints, so the play here is definitely the New Orleans Saints. Moving on to our second trend, we have the Arizona Cardinals hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Arizona should be the underdog here, and you know how I feel about those home dogs. So my play here is take the Cardinals plus the points. So our third pick this week is the New York Giants at the Tennessee Titans. New York is 1-6 in the last 7 games against Tennessee, so the play here is the Tennessee Titans. And now for our first bonus pick for 2022. we have the Houston Texans hosting the Indianapolis Colts. Houston is 0-9 versus Indianapolis at home, so the players take the Colts minus the points. So if they made it this far, that's it for week 1. As always, I'm Mike the Mailman. We'll see you next week for Trends to Treasure. And remember, bet with your head and not with your heart. Go get 'em.
Well done.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it, as always.
Yes.
As always. You know we don't do that, but
I'm going to start gambling this year.
yeah.
You are?
I'm absolutely.
Stay out of that life.
Absolutely not.
Stay out of that life, man.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to the obligatory PSU pregame show. We're at Champs Downtown, our home away from home, all season long. Reminder, check out the Blue White Players show at 6 p.m. on the social feeds of onwardstate.com and statecollege.com. And, of course, you get the podcast version of that the next day on the Keystone Sports Network podcast feed. And this is our random number generator segment where we get to randomly generate numbers to predict the score of the Penn State Purdue game on a Thursday night, which is stupid and I hate it, but it is what it is.
I know.
I am going to start with the good stuff. Mike the Mailman, hit me up.
I think a road game at Purdue doesn't matter. They're going to win by 9. I like Penn State by 9 this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
A comfortable 9 or a tense 9?
Comfortable because I like the number 9 because actually it's my mom's favorite number, but also you have to make too short, so I like that.
Yeah, number 9's a good number.
I like it.
Yeah.
So,
Trace McSorley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
Jim McMahon. Okay. Horn, what do you got? Shockingly, Mike the Mailman picked Penn State to win.
Yeah. Well, Vegas it's bounced between 3.5.
That's right.
At Penn State favored. I love the under. The total for the game is 54.5.
Yeah.
Well,
So I love the under there, even though Purdue can score 54.5 by themselves sometimes. But I like Penn State's defense this year more than the offense. So I'm saying Purdue 27, Penn State 17. So just under, but under.
Wow.
And
the loss.
Oh yeah.
There's no way they lose at Purdue.
Marron to me.
And then Mike and I will go to Harry's Chocolate Shop and have as many beers as Penn State.
We can celebrate whatever. We'll celebrate either way, Kevin.
That's right.
Let's interrogate this a little bit more, Horn. So you have us losing the opener at Purdue because...
Sure.
What is the random number, John?
Purdue has had a good 2 seasons in a row and returned a lot of guys, and Penn State has had a bad 2 seasons in a row and returned a lot of guys. So
fair.
I mean, their offense was great last year. Top 10 offense in the country last year. I mean, I do like Penn State's
Brom's
defense.
a good coach. I mean, he is a good coach.
Joey Porter. I like our defense, but there's some questions at linebacker. Hopefully Mustafa. I mean, it's not guaranteed he plays. If he does play, it's not guaranteed he's 100%.
Right.
The pass rush, I think, is an underrated concern for the coming year. Maybe there'll be an Ebiketie, and I'm totally wrong. Hopefully so, but.
Right, so the flip side to that is you have Adisa Isaac back off injury, off a whole season having recovered. People really like the way he's coming together. Chop Robinson comes in via the transfer portal, a guy who played and made an impact for Maryland as a true freshman. And I actually think the depth on the defensive line may turn out to be a positive for Penn State. So I don't know if y'all have noticed this. There is sort of a spectrum of positivity at this table from one end to the other.
I take it back. 24-17. They're not going to get that extra field goal. 24-17. But look, Drew Scruggs is our starting center, man. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
So, as you heard in our season record prediction segment, in which I was not super bullish on the Nittany Lions, I do have Penn State winning. And I think, for me, the key is you talked about how explosive Purdue's offense was last year, totally in the passing game, not in the run game. I think we can help keep them one-dimensional, in part because of that defensive line depth I talked about. And Purdue loses its top 3 receivers off that 5th in the nation offense. And I love Penn State's secondary this year.
Yeah.
So I think that matchup favors Penn State. I do think the running game will be better. I've got the Nittany Lions winning this one 37-20.
Oh, the over, all right.
Wow, 37-20.
Yeah, I think it'd be some late scores that puts Penn State over.
I don't think Penn State's scoring 37 points in a single game this year.
Yeah, I
let you go last.
I know,
like
thank you. I know, and I've been thinking about it. Right, I've had 4 minutes and 25 seconds to figure it out, and I still don't have a clue because it's completely
you've had 4
random.
new trail
That's
broken
exactly
heels
right.
too.
Yeah, exactly.
So just hit me up.
Half
What do
of
you
a
got?
Bloody Mary. I'm going to say 28-24 Penn State.
Nice. Nice.
But it's scary. It's to the end.
It should be scary.
No, but it's going to be. I mean, I think the atmosphere, I think everything out there, right? Like that is an up and coming, mid-level Big Ten football program.
What do they have? 40,000 people there.
You talking about us or Purdue?
Both. But I think that Jeff Brom's going to have them ready. Offensively, they're going to have a good plan. But I do think that our defense, again, I'm very excited to watch that group play this year. I think they're going to be aggressive. I think they're going to take the ball away, and I think it's going to be an extra possession for us, and taking a possession away from them that's going to be the difference in the football game.
How in God's name did I end up picking the most comfortable win out of the 4 of us?
With 3 unders.
3 unders.
Yeah, I don't know. Though I agree with Kevin. I don't know how many points we'll score this year.
You're not going to cave to peer pressure. You're sticking with it. Penn State loses.
Sticking with it, and I think it'll tell us a lot, though. I mean, whether you're going to hold up or they're not, and then I reserve the right to revise the rest of the season.
We're here all season, folks. We love you. We are.
Drink New Trail.
New Trail.